Thank you. Hello everyone. My name is Neil McConnell, and on behalf of all of us here at BMC Software, I'd like to welcome you to this latest edition of the Connect with Control M series. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been with BMC for 14 years now and currently work as a tech support analyst in the Control M distributed team. Today we'll be taking a look at the new Control M Agent Upgrade with No Downtime feature that was introduced with version 8. If you want to save a copy of the slides from today's presentation, please go to the toolbar at the top of the WebEx screen and select File and Save As. I would suggest that you save in PDF format, as the default is not that friendly. Now let's take a look at today's agenda. We'll take a look at the motivation behind the development of this new install process, the benefits it provides, and what the prerequisites are for upgrade with no downtime and how it's done. Then there'll be a short demonstration of a couple of typical agent upgrades, followed by an opportunity for us to answer any questions you may have. If any questions do come to mind during this presentation, please type them into the Q&A panel to the far right of your WebEx screen, and we'll do our best to answer them at the end. Now let's go on to the next slide and take a look at the upgrade challenges. The motivation behind this change to the agent install process is primarily feedback from our customers. As some of you know, we here in Control M Support always encourage our customers to stay current with new versions and fix packs. We started the Amigo program a little while ago to help with your upgrade if you require it, and it's been successful. Our experience though is that while almost all of our customers run supported versions of EM and Control M Server, and are likely to upgrade and maintain these, there's a greater occurrence of unpatched and even unsupported agents out there that are running business-critical applications. Over the years, you have made us aware of the challenges you face installing, upgrading and maintaining Control M agents, and we have listened. Some time ago, for instance, we introduced agentless processing on remote hosts to help reduce the number of agents you need to install and maintain. As I'm sure you're aware though, not all jobs can run on remote hosts. The control module plugins for third-party vendor products like SAP or Advanced File Transfer, for example, these have to be installed on a real agent, and some agents are necessary to connect to the remote hosts themselves. Of course, these agents need to be upgraded and maintained. Now, a single agent upgrade is technically simple, but still requires the Control M administrator or whoever is responsible for performing the upgrade to liaise with other parts of the business, agree a time window to install the upgrade, and ensure that no jobs will run during that time window. 24/7 operations make it a real problem in many organisations to get approval from the business for an interruption to the production schedule for maintenance installations and upgrades. And this problem is multiplied by the number of agents that the change must be applied to. Now let's take a look at the next slide and see how the upgrade with no downtime addresses these challenges. What we've done to try and remove some of the difficulties that you face scheduling agent upgrades is to provide an install process that does all it needs to do while the agent and your jobs are still running. It maintains the availability of the agent throughout the upgrade, avoids any disruption to the job flow, eliminates or at least reduces the need for coordination with other areas of the business when upgrading. On the next slide, we'll take a look at what you need to do to be able to upgrade with no downtime. Currently, upgrade with no downtime is available only for agents installed on Unix Linux hosts. The Control M server has to be version 8 or above. Upgrade with no downtime to version 8 is possible for all supported versions of the Unix agent, that's 640 and above currently, and for the version 8 fix packs. Windows agents must still be upgraded to version 8 and their fix packs installed in the old downtime mode. The agent developers plan to have this feature available for Windows in FixPack 3, the next FixPack for version 8, which is targeted for release in the summer of 2014. The next two slides show what the install process does, so let's take a look. The new install process must replace all of the agent code while the agent is still running, and keep the agent available throughout the upgrade. It does this by running both the old and new agent code in parallel until the upgrade is complete. Once the new agent code has been installed, the old listener and tracker processes are shut down. This has no impact on any jobs that might be running at the time, because the agent processes, the AM processes which are monitoring these active jobs, they continue to run until the jobs themselves are complete. After the upgrade or FixPack install is complete, any temporary files created during the process, along with the old version code, are cleaned up. The final cleanup is done at New Day. I must emphasize these actions are performed automatically. There's no change required to any existing upgrade procedures you may have, apart from the fact that you no longer have to justify an outage. Now I think it's time to see the process in action. So we'll go over to my demo environment in just a few seconds, where first I'll upgrade a version 7 agent running as root to version 8. Then I'll install a version 8 FixPack 2 onto a non-root agent which is currently running version 8 FixPack 1. Please bear with me while I share my desktop. Good. Okay. Let me click on that. That is Control M version 8 GUI, which shows a number of jobs that I've set up previously. The first one that I'm interested in is this job here, which is going to run on an agent called AG700. As you can see, it's a very simple command job that does a sleep for 2 minutes. Let's take a look at the agent itself. In this putty window, I've logged on as the agent account, and I'll run an agdiag.com, and we can see from this that the agent version is indeed version 7, no FixPacks installed. So I've been bad, I haven't maintained it. However, you can also see that the agent listener is and the agent tracker are running, both running as root. Now, because this agent is running as root, I also need to perform the upgrade to version 8 as root. So in this putty window, I'm logged on as root, and prior to starting this presentation, I changed the shell to C shell, which matches the shell that this agent runs in. I CD'd to the home directory of this agent. Then I ran the command to source the .cshRC. Now the reason I did that is that to get the Control M environment variable set, and that's required for the install. After I did that, I just ran an echo $Control M to make sure it was indeed pointing at the home directory of the agent that I want to upgrade. And finally, I prepared this command here, which is pointing to the directory where I've staged the version 8 code. And setup.sh will start the install procedure. So let's go back to my Control M workload automation GUI window and rerun this job. Hopefully we'll see that turn yellow. And now let's start the upgrade. Yes, I do want to continue. No, I don't want to read all of the license agreement information, thank you. Yes, I do want to accept it. You can see the install has found that Control M Agent version 7 is already there. If I press next, it will upgrade it to Control M version 8, which is what I want to happen. So let's do that. Then the install provides a summary of how it's found the agent currently configured. That's all fine, I don't want to go back and change anything, so we'll continue. Now the install starts to write a console log showing its progress. We'll examine the contents of this log a little later on during the presentation, But for now, it's enough to mention that the processing packages correspond to one of the steps that I described in a previous slide. And now it seems that the installation is completed successfully. Minimize that window, and we'll go back to the agent window, and we'll run AG diag.com again. We see that now the agent is version 8. There's a listener, a tracker, and a tracker worker running now. Tracker worker is a giveaway that this is a version 8 agent, as it didn't exist previously to this version. You can also see that the listener and the tracker processes are now running as different proc IDs. Final step, let's go back to the workload automation window, where very soon now the sleep job that I set off at the start of this demonstration should be finishing, and there it is. Just take a look at the log to make sure that nothing untoward occurred while the upgrade was taking place. We can see that I reran it and it changed to executing at 14:11:08. It ended okay at 14:13:08, exactly 2 minutes later, which is what we expected to happen. Good. Now I've finished with AG 700 for now, so I'll just close these two windows to clarify things for me a little. Then we'll go on to the next part of the demonstration, which is FixPack upgrade on a version 8 non-root agent. Now here's the sleep job that belongs or is defined to be submitted to that agent. The agent itself is called AG en route, and the job itself, again, it's a simple command job. It does sleep for 100 seconds this time, as the FixPack install typically doesn't take quite as long. Once again, let's go over to the agent itself. This putty window is where I've logged on to AG en route itself, and I'll now run AG diag.com. And we can see that it is indeed version 8 FixPack 1. It's active at the moment. It's running a listener, a tracker, and a tracker worker. In this window, just to save time, it's also logged on as AG en route, as you can see, but I've pre-typed the command to start the FixPack upgrade here. We go back to our control and workload automation window. We'll rerun our AG en route job. Make sure it starts okay, and there it goes. Now go back and we'll start the install. Once again, we get a console log showing the progress of the install and some prompts asking us if we want to continue. Yes, I do. Let's see, that really doesn't take very long at all to put the FixPack on. And the very last thing that's written in the console log, which again I should mention shows the progress of the install. So if anything does go wrong, then you can see exactly which part of the install process it was that had a problem. The other important thing for troubleshooting is the location of the trace log file from the install, which is the last line of the console log printed. Now let's go back to the other putty window and run AG diag.com again, if I can type. We'll see our agent is now upgraded to FixPack 2. It has 3 processes started, and they all have different PIDs from the ones that were there when we started the upgrade process. The final thing to do is to check our job, which hopefully will finish shortly, to make sure that this also completed as we expected. There it goes. A little bit longer to wait this time. Now let's just take a look at the log here. We should see again we've got analyze, post-process, ended okay, change to executing. We started at 14:15 and we finished at 14:16:46. About 100 seconds later, which again is what we expected to happen. That concludes the demonstration. And before I finish, I'd like to show you some of the log entries in a little more detail and hopefully in an easy to view format, excuse me. So let me stop sharing my desktop now and switch back to the slides. Next slide. In this slide, I've copied a version 8 install console log to make it easier to view. This log shows each of the installed processes as they start and finish, apart from the very final cleanup which happens at new day. First, the old agent gets backed up in case there's a problem with the install and rollback is required, and then the new agent files are installed. The Control M server is informed that the upgrade is in progress, and this disables the agent under the covers to prevent any new jobs being submitted while the changeover of the processes from old code to new code takes place. The old agent AT and AG processes are shut down after the Control M server has been informed that the upgrade is started. Running jobs aren't impacted in any way by this. The new agent code is enabled. The new AG and AT processes are started. And at this point, the AM processes that are monitoring the active jobs are running version 7 code, and the listener and tracker are running version 8. After this, the configuration files, installed versions.txt, config.dat, etc. are updated as required to reflect the upgrade. What can be cleaned up in the way of temporary files is cleaned up at this point, and the uninstall script is created. The Control M server is notified that the upgrade is complete, and any new job submitted will now be monitored by the AM process running the V8 code. Now let me backtrack slightly. When talking about cleanup, I should mention what happens at new day and how it's triggered. During the install, a snapshot file is created that records the details of each job that was active while the install was running. The old agent code can't be finally removed until all of those AM processes finish, and this won't happen until all of the jobs that were active when the install started are also finished. The agent doesn't wait for this to happen, it just gets on with running work. When the next new day starts, a check is done to see if this snapshot file exists. If it does, we check to see if any of the jobs in the file are still running. If they're all finished, the exe_old folder, which contains the old previous version agent code, is finally deleted. There are a few more log entries that may be of interest, which I'll show you quickly on this slide. At the top, there's an extract from an agent daily log. You can see that it records the start of our sleep job. At this point, the agent was running version 7 code. Then the agent stops, and then it's restarted again very shortly afterwards. This time though, you can see as highlighted in blue that it's running at version 8. Our job continues to run normally without interruption until completion. Finally, at the bottom of this slide, there's an extract from a Control M server NS log. This shows the upgrade start and upgrade ended messages that I mentioned earlier. See, the gap between the start and the end of the upgrade is about 6 seconds in this instance. In the next slide, there's a recap of the upgrade requirements. Let's take a look at this one to refresh our memory of what we need to do to get ready to upgrade with no downtime. As mentioned previously, to enable upgrade with no downtime, the Control M server must be version 8 or above. The Control M agent must be installed on Unix or Linux and can be any currently supported version, which at the moment is 640 or above. We do plan to roll this feature out to Windows, and this will happen in the next V8 FixPack 3, which should arrive this summer. Now it's almost time for your questions, but before we get on to the Q&A session, I have a couple more slides to show you. First, on behalf of all of us here at BMC, I'd like to thank you for sparing some time out of your busy schedule to join us today. Following the event, you'll have an opportunity to tell us what you thought of it and also to suggest any topics that you would like to see covered in future Connect with Control-M sessions. The next Connect with Control-M will be on the 16th of April and is about some of the new features that we've added in version 8 for the New Day process. We hope you can attend. However, if you are unable to attend, you can catch up with this and all previous Connect with Control-M presentations by following one of the links at the bottom of the next slide. Before we go on to that slide though, I'd also like to mention that you can follow Control-M on Facebook and Twitter, and also on BMC communities at this link highlighted in blue on this slide. Thanks once again for your interest, and I'll now leave you with this slide showing the past Connect with Control-M events and the links to the recordings while we answer any questions you may have.